8, 7.
Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to have you all here for the very final Investment Challenge webinar for this year. For those of you who pay attention to details, yes, this is not Enrico, it's Valentina from Reply Offices in Milan. And we are live on YouTube. We are also live on our challenges.reply.com page. And we are also live on Reply Chick Norris TV, our video platform. So hello, Repliers as well. I'm not alone, though. Today you can see some people behind me. Well, actually, here behind me, there is a war room. Hi, there is a war room of the Titanium team. They are working to support you. As you know, those of you who are still trading because they are in the 100 best players, they can still trade till today, and they can also get support from our team. Plus, I have some very, very special guests with me, so I would like to introduce them right away. Today with me, you can see all of them. We have Andrea Ragaini, Deputy General Manager, Wealth Management, Markets and Products at Banca Generali.
Thank you. Bye, Valentina. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Andrea. Very glad to have you. Well, for the first time, but Banca Generali for the second year in a row as a sponsor of this great challenge. I would also like to introduce Marco Giorgino, full professor of Financial Markets and Institutions and Financial Risk Management at Polytechnico di Milano. Ciao, Marco.
Hi, and thank you. Hi, everybody.
Good to have you with us again. Also, MIP Polytechnico di Milano is our partner for the second year in a row. But for the very first time on board with us in the Investment Challenge, we have Rodolfo Fracassi, who is co-founder and managing director at Main Street Partners. Rodolfo, hello.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for hosting us. It's really great pleasure.
Had the pleasure to chat with you a little bit before the challenge started, to be honest.
Absolutely.
So today we'll dig a little bit more with you on ESG rated companies and ratings. For the very first time, though, we have Giancarlo Sandrin, president of the CFA Society Italy. Welcome, Giancarlo.
Thank you very much for having me here today.
We're very glad to have you on board as well. CFA Society joined us while registration were still open, but later on we'll discover which was their support, very much appreciated. And last but not least, I also have two companions of this trip from Reply. The first one is Roberto Tognoni, he is executive partner at Reply. Ciao, Roberto. You can maybe understand that from the setting, he's actually with me in the office today. And last, but for sure not least, our lovely, I would say, Titanium coach and also Avantage partner, the man who basically helped us go through the whole challenge and even made up new hashtags is Paolo Fabris. Ciao, Paolo.
Ciao, Valentina. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon to you too. So now that we have introduced all the amazing guests we have today, I just remind to the people who are watching that you can comment on YouTube in the chat. You can ask some questions to our speakers. Of course, we already prepared kind of some questions to start from, but feel free to ask them anything you like, okay? So I would like to start from where we are and how we came till this point. Today, as I was mentioning, is the very last day of the challenge. Today, from 3:30 till 10 p.m., our players will still compete for the very last day on the trading platform and on challenges, trying to reach the highest score possible. And actually, those people are the 100 best traders among the more than 14,000 people who joined our competition this year. The first online round was made from the 19th to the 30th of April, and all the people competed to join this final round. Can I please ask to the control room to show why they were competing so hard? That's why the prize is also for the same, I guess. But for sure, the first placed trader will get a MacBook Pro, the second one an iPad Air, and the third one a nice pair of AirPods Pro from Apple. As I was recapping, if the control room can please go to the next slide. We were already playing. We already showed you the Instagram filter that you can still use until tonight. For each tag that we get you have to tag at reply challenges from a public profile. We'll make sure we will plant a tree in our reply freedom forest. So make sure you are green till the very end and still be social until tonight. Then some stats that I will ask again to the control room to show. As I was mentioning, we had more than 14,600 people registered on the platform from more than 90 countries. So it was a really worldwide event this year. More than 2 billion of worth of asset bought and more than 73,000 trades placed. So the first round was really a hit, I would say. We really enjoyed the race. Please, next slide, control room. And right now, here we are. Basically, only the 100 best players made it to the finals. They started trading again on the 12th of May. They will have time, as I was mentioning, till tonight at 10 p.m. CE East time. And they will still have to prove they are the best traders in town, keeping in mind ESG, of course, because both in the first online round, both now, what they have to really care about is, of course, profits, but at the same time, they have to care about investing on good companies. So let's see who will make it to the very final. I can comment a little bit on the stats, but I will also ask Paolo to please go back to the, thank you, control room. I would like to ask Paolo to comment with me this slide because, well, 20 trades per person, we see, Paolo.
What we can see here, Valentina, is that I would say the vast majority of the finalists perfectly understood the spirit and the way to manage this challenge. You can see that there were no significant amount of trades. All the people started by placing the first trades probably in the first day, in the very first day, and then they hold their position. So we're seeing something that was really, really, let's say, connected to the spirit of the challenge. If we can look at the numbers, you can see that there was a very steep increase in what we saw as the buy good, sell bad index. On average, the vast majority of the portfolio, the weighted portfolio held by the participants, it's showing a very high percentage of good ESG companies, by far higher than the average of the, let's say, unweighted ranking of the companies that were in the whitelist, that was tradable. So I would say very good job from our finalists. They perfectly understood the spirit of the competition.
So they deserved this place.
Yes.
They deserve to be in the 100 best, and it seems they know what they're doing, right? So we hope that by Monday, when we will have the final ranking, we will still see all of their scores up in the ranking. By the way, I would like to highlight this point. The game will stop tonight at 10 p.m., but we will not have winners until maybe a week in time from now. Why? Because on Monday we will publish the temporary leaderboard that will be available to everybody, of course, and then we will have to ask to the best 3-5 traders to send us a report, because we don't just rely on data, on the scores. We really want to see why you acted in a certain way. We want to go deep in the trades you make, and when I say we, I mean Titanium team, by the way, but we as Reply, we want to check that you really invested in a sustainable way. So we will need some time to get the report. And by the way, we can already reply to a person, VK, that was asking, can we get the strategy of the top players? Yes, we can get them. You can get them. They will be available as soon as we will announce the final winners, the confirmed one, because we will publish the reports online. So it will be possible to analyze what the best 3 actually made as investment choices, of course. So thank you, VK, for your questions. I of course would like to remind again that if you have any questions for our panel, it's the time to ask them. I think it's not so common to have such a great panel of guests available, and to be able to ask them for questions about finance, investments, and ESG. So take your opportunity, guys. So let's go in deep now. Let's grill our audience. Let's grill our speakers. And I would like to start from Andrea Ragaini. Again, it's the second time Banca Generali joined as a sponsor for the Reply Investment Challenge. This year, of course, the topic was sustainability, as it is a key topic, of course. Why did Banca Generali decide to support us again on this initiative?
Valentina, the short answer is because we believe in this project, we believe in the challenge, and we believe in our partner. And if it's possible this year, we are even more happy because the ESG is in the center of the challenge. And as Banca Generali, we are really convinced that every time in which we can link together young generation, responsible investment, and sustainability is really a unique opportunity to, let's say, plot a route for the future and for a more sustainable future. So we are really very happy to be here. As Banca Generali, we put sustainability into our business and integrate sustainability into our business, starting from our vision. And our vision is not solo, because it's to be the first private banking in Italy for innovation, quality of service, and sustainability. And so sustainability is really in the center of our dream. And our mission is to be trust people that help our clients to deliver their project of life. And so for be trusted people, we need to be close to our clients and to help them to reach their target, for sure financial target, but not only financial targets. So sustainable investments and this edition of a Reply Challenge is very key and is very close to our heart. So we are very happy to be here.
A great vision indeed, Andrea. And by the way, we had the pleasure to talk also to Claudia Vacanti. I mean, Banca Generali was involved since the very beginning, especially on sustainability topics. So again, thank you for that. And together with Claudia Vacanti, if you followed all the webinars, you already saw Rodolfo, which I was thanking before, because he's kind of our sustainability expert. expert. Of course, all the others know a lot about sustainability, but Rodolfo, Mindset Partner gave us basically the secret ingredient of our algorithm, which are the ESG. Can you tell us a little bit more? What does Mindset Partner do? Why are you such a ESG expert?
Well, with pleasure. Well, thank you for calling me an expert. I guess after 12 years in this area, after 12 years spent basically working on sustainable investments and elaborating data and solutions for our partners, I guess we have accumulated a wealth of experience. So thank you so much for having us here, and also very happy to be here surrounded by our partners, Banca Generali and Reply, with whom we really have created amazing solutions in the sustainability space. What Mindset Partner does is basically two things. On one side, we provide investment advisory on sustainable investments. So we help our clients basically deliver investment solutions to their own clients in terms of funds or multi-asset, multi-manager products, or discretionary portfolios, unit-linked, and so on and so forth. Of course, with all the sustainability data and everything which is needed also to create reportings and improve the client experience. And the other part of the business is actually elaborating the data themselves, the model, and all the algorithms that actually are used by our clients to keep doing their job at best and grow in the sustainability space.
Thank you very much, Rodolfo. Actually, with your ESG rating, you helped us a lot. As I mean it, it was a real secret ingredient of our algorithm. The formula was out there; all our players know it. But the ESG were never and will still be not disclosed. As of course, it's the thing they have to learn. They have to learn. Let's say, looking out in the internet for information. They have to start learning how to dig in deep in the forest of the financial information that are available out there. And when we talk about education, of course, I have to talk to Marco as well. For us, all the Reply challenges have, of course, a very strong learning goal. Especially for investment challenge, we have a very big learning section. And I know Politecnico di Milano helped us on that. Marco, can you tell us a little bit more on how you supported us and how learning can be key for, let's say, financial newbies, for financial students trying to get to the investor world?
Sure, Valentina, thanks again. It's a pleasure for me to be here for the second year, and thank you to Reply to have invited Politecnico di Milano to join this very amazing experience. I want to point out my attention on two main things. Why Politecnico Milano is here today and how did we support the project. We are here for three main motivations. First of all, for the topic. Sustainability today is the top trend for many reasons, and we know how both demand and offer of capital are very driven today from sustainability. And we are trying to do a lot of things, a lot of projects in our university for supporting this top trend. The second motivation is the international characteristic of the project. We have a lot of people coming from all around the world, and today our school is an international one, so we joined also because it's a very international project. The third main motivation is the most important. We strongly believe in a very balanced combination between a rigorous theoretical framework and approach and some very practical occasions to do what? To learn by doing. This was a very interesting experience to learn by doing, both putting together theory and practice. And we supported the project, giving some video clips, so some preparatory topics that were necessary to put all the people in the condition to make trading activities and so to join the competition. So we think this is a good balance, theory and practice and learning by doing. So this was the most important motivation for which we are here today. And we hope our support was helpful for all the people that joined the competition.
Actually, this is a question we can ask to all the students who are there watching us. What did you like the most in the learning section? Did you prefer some videos rather than other resources? Because actually we had we put a lot of effort in building the learning section since last year, since the very first edition of the Reply Investment Challenge. We tried as much as we could to, of course, help very skilled traders and students, but also to, let's say, help those who were just getting in touch, maybe for the very first time, with these finance topics. And Giancarlo Sandrin, president of CFA Society, I would say it's still very close to what we're talking about. Giancarlo, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but CFA Society Italy is an organization that actually foster education, especially in the finance world, let's say. So do you have any suggestions for students? What should they focus on mostly when addressing the topic of sustainability and investments?
Yes, thank you. CFA Society, as you mentioned, CFA Society Italy is an association that is made up of financial professionals with the CFA certification, which is one of the main worldwide recognized certification in finance. And we aim to promote the highest ethical and professional standards. So we try to increase the knowledge of people working in the financial industry, as well as students, to be better, to better serve their clients. So the sustainability is, of course, something which is at the heart of CFA Society. And we think that it is such a broad subject that I would really suggest to students at least to understand how broad is this subject, because usually, for example, now we are looking at how we invest, looking at ESG criteria, but there is a lot of things to understand also from the corporate point of view, because the sustainability means that the corporate needs to adapt their business and their strategy in order to be more aware of the climate changes that we are undergoing, more aware of the new governance rule, and more aware of the social impact that any business is having. So when you think about sustainability, you need to be very focused on understanding all these type of links and have a very broad view on this subject.
This is for sure a very good suggestion for our 100 top traders. As we saw with Paolo, they at least for now it seems like they have their ideas quite clear. They know what to invest on, as the buy good sell bad index was very high, especially compared to the first round. And yes, we were just mentioning that learning is key, and it's actually a key element of all our reply challenges. Roberto, you're the godfather, let's say, of this challenge. Of course, you're executive partner in Reply, and I know you mainly deal with business companies, let's say. But and of course, investment challenge was, let's say, the perfect challenge to make you host of. Can you also tell us a little bit about other Reply challenges, and let's say, why does Reply put so much effort in such online competitions?
And we look for the best and the brightest out there, especially the youngest from university, the students. And so challenges is one of our way to engage and to get in touch with those best and brightest from universities. We started up a few years ago with this format.
And we built a platform, challenges.reply.com, which is the one that has been used also for this challenge. The Challenges platform has now more than 130,000 subscriptions, so people who join us during those challenges. The investment challenges are one of the kind of challenges that we do. Actually, we started with security and code challenges, but we also have creative challenges. Right now, a few days ago, we started up a creative challenges for the creative best and brightest out there. I think it's a good way to do what Marco was saying before. So it's a good way to play together and to learn together, learning by doing, actually. So we like the format, we like the game. I think people like the game, and students like the game. Numbers are on our side, so that's the reason why we will keep doing this. So we are aiming for the third investment challenge next year.
Okay, so competitors, stay tuned. It's not even yet over, the second investment challenge, but we have big plans for next year as well. And right about that, about how, let's say, we build reply challenges and the reply and the Titanium team as well. I would like to talk a little bit with Paolo. Paolo, last year it was all about risk coverage, let's say risk management. This year it's all about sustainability. Why did the Titanium team choose this topic, and how do you cope with, let's say, a topic that is usually affecting medium long-term strategies?
Well, Valentina, you're right. What we did, and the reason why we chose this kind of topic, it's because we strongly believe that people, students, the investors should learn to dig out the data. So looking for the best company, ESG speaking, is something that requires a lot of work. And quoting Marco again, learning by doing probably is the best way you can achieve this goal. So we didn't disclose, as you said in the beginning, we did disclose the ESG rating that we are using for the overall evaluation, the ratings provided by Main Street. So this is something that the participants will have to, or had to, let's say, understand by reading financial statements, by reading company communications, etc. So we were forcing them for researching and understanding the reason why they should or should not invest in a specific company. So this was one of the main aims of the challenge. The reason why we looked for this topic. Of course, it's a very hot topic today. Having chosen this topic also brought some, let's say, caveats to take care for, because as you said, you were perfectly right. And sustainable investment, doesn't matter what, let's say, side we are looking at, is something that requires a long-term, medium long-term strategy. Of course, we cannot hold the challenge forever. So what we did, it was to, let's say, simulate the long-term activity by, let's say, setting up the bonus-malus mechanism. So by giving an advantage to people that were holding, the players that were holding their portfolio position for a longer term, or by, let's say, amplifying the results of the P&L based on the fact that the company was a very good ESG company, we tried to simulate the medium long-term strategy that a player should pursue doing this job. I hope we succeeded in this, of course.
That's again a question for our players, of course. To be honest, investment challenge is already one of the longest reply challenges we have. So yes, we did the best we could to simulate an even longer, let's say, term. Thank you for this first round of questions. I will go for a second round with you all, guys. I remind again to all of those who are watching us that it's the time to ask yours. I would like to start again from Andrea. Before you were mentioning the vision of your of Banca Generali, a vision where actually you try to go hand in hand with your customers and you let's say focus a lot on sustainability. So my questions are why is sustainability key now for a bank nowadays, and what can private investors do to actually contribute to sustainable investments?
So, Valentina, I think that sustainability is key not only for the banking system, but probably for all the industries today. And I tell so because any company to live in the market, to stay in the market now, must have at least three elements. The first one are customers that buy their products or services. The second are shareholders that can invest capital, can invest money. And finally, banks that can supply credit. And today, all these three players demand sustainability. It's really a matter of reputation, and now reputation is strictly linked to the Sustainable Development Goals. Coming to the banking space, sustainability is key also for us, because to serve our clients, our customers, we have to know that they are more and more aware of sustainability issues, especially for younger generation, and this is for sure key. Second, we need to be sustainable to maintain our best talent and to attract new talent from the market. And finally, because we need to have good relations with our regulators, and up to now, both Bank of Italy and Consob are really very focused on sustainability. So sustainability is key for all the industries and is above all key for banking system. Regarding the possibility that we as industry, as a private banking industry, the rules that we can play in the market is huge, because we can present to our clients the opportunity to invest money, to gain money, to preserve in the long run money, and in the same time to create something that can help our planet. So a win-win situation, and we can really spread the ESG principle through investors. So it's a huge opportunity, a great opportunity, and a great responsibility linked together.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And talking about ESG, of course, we in the past weeks we focused a lot on explaining them to the players, and during webinars we involved Rodolfo and Claudia Vacanti in a let's say focused webinar before we even started the game. So I'd like to go back to Rodolfo again, our ESG expert. I keep on considering you like that. And since again these were really the base of the challenge, together with the algorithm by our Titanium team, can you tell us a little bit more how you calculated those ESG? Did you face any challenges in doing so? Tell us a little bit more of let's say some secrets behind how you calculate them.
Absolutely, with pleasure. Well, actually, yeah, it's not easy at all. So it is a constant challenge, but I think that's also one of the parts of the job that we enjoy the most. I would say, well, first an explanation on how the model works, and then what's the way forward, what are the main challenges that we see, and also we see in the market. The model actually pulls data from a number of sources, And I think one of the main points that we elaborated over the years was to create a framework, which is actually very solid, that can be applied to different sectors, to different industries, in different geographies, avoiding specific biases. One of the main biases you usually see in ratings is the size of the company. So the bigger the company, the better the rating. Sometimes that happens because there's no good coverage on smaller companies. There's not enough information, and also because big companies usually, they have big pockets, so they can communicate better. So one of the main points here is try to find data along the whole value chain and be able to rate as many companies as possible. So what we've been doing, we've been basically going around the world and finding data providers and actual data directly from companies that can be sourced, can be pulled into our framework, which is made of roughly 100 KPIs, policies, all framed between environmental, social, and governance, and then sitting in or fitting it better in a matrix that is related to each single sector. So you got different weights for each of the KPI for the different sectors in order to be as meaningful as possible for the sector that we are analyzing. So for instance, KPIs like CO2 emissions or water usage are very relevant for energy industry, automotive industries, are definitely relevant for banks as well. But in the banking sector, we definitely weight more the governance factors, of course, and so on and so forth. I mean, I could go on and make a lot of examples. So basically, the model pulls together all this data, cleans the data, makes them normalized, reweighted by sectors, and then here you go, you get the final answer. I would say, just as a summary, it's not a magic formula. It's very rational, very explainable, but at the same time, what we want is to be as objective as possible. And I think the main challenge going forward is try to elaborate ESG data which are unbiased and at the same time as objective and as KPI based as possible, because I think human judgment is absolutely very relevant, but it has to come after the rating has been elaborated to review it, because otherwise it's going to be a bit of a out of the guts exercise where everybody can have a different opinion. So the framework and the KPI reliability is a master thing. Oh, I guess you're on mute. I can't hear you.
We need a self-moderation now.
That's the beauty of the live streaming.
Okay. I can hear you.
Two of you.
I doubled. Okay. You see, il bello della diretta, we say in Italian. So
Exactly.
it wouldn't be so exciting otherwise. But thank you to the control room, because they they solved the issue in a second. So Rodolfo, actually, I wanted to ask you, with such objective and KPI based data, do you think that ESG rating will actually, if not take place, but will be used just as the financial main ratings in the future?
Yeah, I totally think so. We started in a world where the only thing that was relevant was the return. Then people started realizing that also the risk is very important in managing a portfolio. So you got the second leg, and now you got the third dimension, which is sustainability. So sustainability is definitely here to stay, not only because people are asking for it, consumers are asking for it, but also the regulator is actually asking to use sustainability data. So honestly, I foresee a future where almost every investor will basically embed sustainability parameters within their investment process and investment decisions. So we will definitely see the quality of the data, but also the quality and the capacity and the capabilities actually of the ones who use them and how they can also transform it into alpha, so added value for the returns.
Rodolfo. Actually, I see we have a question from the audience, so I'd like to ask it to you. Then anyone can answer, of course. What are your ideas about cryptocurrencies? Asks M. Hamza Ali.
I thought that was a question from Roberto, with whom sometimes we chat about it.
Yes, Roberto, if you want to, you can also reply, of course.
Well, I would say I have a double view on it, in a sense that I think it's definitely, from a technical standpoint, it's a very promising evolution of the financial industry. Certainly, there are a lot of upsides that it can bring to the table. It's still very, very early stage. So although the technology is really amazing, quite honestly, I mean, it can do many things better, but at the same time, I think we need to get rid of bad actors in the first place, because there are still a lot in the space. And the second thing, but not less important, is also this debate about how sustainable they are from a green standpoint, because of course there is pollution, and in order to mine and etc. But I think on that front, the industry is going into the right direction, because moving from proof of mining to proof of stake is, for instance, a leapfrog evolution. So yeah, we'll see that. Still a long way to go, though, to be 100% sustainable.
And does anybody want to add anything on cryptocurrencies? Feel free to.
Yes, I would like to add something more, if it's possible. We have to understand if we are talking about a currency or are we talking about an asset class. Two different things. Today we are mixing together the two views about cryptocurrencies. I think in terms of currencies, it depends upon what will be the major role played by the central banks that today are more active on the digital currencies. So we'll see what will happen in the next future about that. Probably as an asset class can be a more interesting perspective, but we will see. It depends upon how central banks will move around that.
All right, thank you, Marco. Roberto, if you want to add something, of course, feel free to do it. No.
Fine.
Fine. Okay.
I think that the two of them, they say everything has to be said about the thing. So
okay, perfect.
Nothing to be added.
Okay, so I'll stay with Marco. You're the spokesperson for University World today. As you're from Politecnico di Milano. What do you think is the role of university when we talk about sustainability and investments? Of course, in terms of learning path, is the university doing something about sustainability?
I think I can answer from a couple of standpoints. As Politecnico di Milano and as in general, what can be the role of a university around that? Let me do just a premise before answering your question. I think that, as all our speakers told today, sustainability is the hot topic for many reasons. It was already before the pandemic, because the world discovered how sustainable investments can perform better in the long term. So they can optimize what's the balance between returns and risks. But after the pandemic, this kind of message is stronger and stronger. And we see how all of the recovery plans all around the world are set up looking at sustainability, as also it happens in Europe through the Next Generation EU plan. So today is the major topic that we have to consider. And today, the majority of the capital are driven by sustainability. So university can play a crucial role in this environment. a crucial role, also considering how still today we have a mismatch among what are the needs from the real world and what are the abilities of the university to fill some gaps. So the number of people that are searched by banks, by companies, by investors is higher than what is the number of university in terms of generating new CVs, new profiles that can join those kind of careers. So today we have to try to do better in order to be faster and to fill this gap, to close this mismatch. The world is going very, very fastly, and university must run more than what they were able to do until today. Now, what's the role of Polytechnic, or in general, what can be the role of a university in general? Two main areas of intervention. First of all, research. As Roberto was saying before, it's a new subject, sustainability, and the holistic view of sustainability can need a lot of competencies. How it's possible to assess and to measure and to quantify the sustainable profile of a company in general, of an issuer, of a company that is looking for money on the market. So we need to do more in terms of knowledge, in terms of research, in terms of what are the frameworks in which it's possible to make any evaluation related to sustainability. I know that in our university and in many other universities in Italy and around the world, there are plenty of projects on that. And the academic operators are trying to do their best, looking at the different profiles. What is sustainability? Environmental, climate change, social business, inclusivity, sustainable business models. We do not have to forget ever that at the end we need sustainable business models. So we need to do more in terms of knowledge. And so research projects are really very, very valuable about that. While we are talking now, European banks must approve and put in place an action plan in order to integrate climate and environmental risks in their activities. While they do credit, they do loans, they need to incorporate some information related to all the companies, also small and medium enterprises, in order to be better positioned also on these new categories of risks. The second area of intervention is training. And we have a lot of courses already now. We have a lot of courses both in bachelor's and in Master of Science. And we have also a lot of activities, training programs for what is already graduated. And so master programs or executive courses, some of them are done also with CFA. For example, the one that we are running in Polytechnic di Milano. So there is a very, very interesting situation today. All of us, university and not only university, are doing a lot. The aim is to be more synergic, to have an ecosystem where all of us can do its best in order to reach some objectives that can be useful for everybody.
Among university and companies, because I see Andrea smiling, but I also know from the reply side that this is for sure an issue for many companies. So thank you, Marco, for trying to fill the gap, the bridge gap. And I will go for another question to Giancarlo. Then I see we have some from the audience, but I would like to, let's say, close at least the second round of questions to our external speakers. So Giancarlo, keeping, let's say, an eye on the educational point of view. Of course, Marco was very clear in stating that universities have a very crucial job to do. What would you, let's say, suggest to a student, as we have mainly students and young professionals watching us, what would you suggest them in terms of learning path, potential learning path, of course, in the finance world?
Absolutely. Since from our point of view, we have a different type of members within our association. So we have quite a broad view on how is going the Italian financial sector, also in terms of demand from young people to be employed. So I'm just echoing Professor Giorgino. So the ESG is not only a buzzword right now, is a game changer for the financial industry. We have banks, asset manager, the wealth management space, as Andrea Ragaini well said before. Everyone is looking for sustainability knowledge. So we need people that can analyze companies from a sustainable point of view, because we need also to remember that sustainable means a company that can maintain the growth, the profit for its stakeholders. So that is an important part of the sustainability story. Sustainable means not only to be good, but to be good in order to survive in the long term. So people that are able to analyze company, to understand how company are really sustainable. We need people to explain to clients what does sustainability means, and also which type of investment products are more sustainable. So also to understand the different investment option for the clients. So I think that if someone is looking to enter in the financial job market right now, he has to put a very, very strong focus on sustainability and everything from analyzing the company to understand all the financial products.
Yeah, thank you again for highlighting that point, because as I was mentioning at the very beginning, it's the thing we wanted our players to be able to do at the end of the competition, to be able to analyze all the data out there and be able to take some investment choices with, let's say, a clear idea in mind. And by the way, Giancarlo, I have to remind to the people who are watching that also the learning materials that you provided us were actually very good, and they were very useful to help those investors who were maybe newbie to the sustainability world to take those choices. By the way, keeping an eye on the sustainability topic, I would like to answer to Guido Marsico questions. He's asking, could this great concern toward the sustainable world turn into a small bubble driven by irrational investors and companies who practice greenwashing? What do you think, my lovely guests?
I can start with a brief comment on this one, if you want.
Yeah.
The main part here is that, as we heard before, sustainability is here to stay. So the real sustainable companies are companies which has a very good type of business which can be kept also in the long term. So I don't think that sustainability is a bubble. I think that greenwashing is something that we will need to look really, really careful. So again, the importance of being very focused on understanding what is sustainable and what is just greenwashing is something that is important for the future.
Yes, if I can add something, the new financial regulation, the new SFDR can help this greenwashing activity that for sure could be a problem, because up to now, from March, we have a new regulation that help us to select and to highlight in a clear way what are Article 6, 8, and 9. And then Rodolfo can explain for sure better than me that this can help for avoiding greenwashing in the future, or to reduce for sure.
Just to add something on the discussion, I don't think is something short term. I think it's gonna be here to stay, sustainability, and that's because when I was studying at Polytechnic di Milano, I had a few teachers, a few professors telling me that if you look at the phenomenon, if you cannot measure it, it doesn't exist, at least from an engineering point of view. And that's about sustainability. So we have been talking about ESG sustainability for a long time. There were some practitioners like Rodolfo trying to measure it, but basically now we are forced to. And to be forced to measure something, it means that we are at the beginning now of a long trip to find way to measure it scientifically. And the years passes, and we will be better at measure it. And starting from finance means starting from, the place where the money goes into the economic system. Now, starting from this point means that all the other economic players must try to understand how to measure themselves in terms of green impact, social and governance impact, and to provide data. And then we will have to review those data, refining the measurement. Is going to be a long, long trip about that. And for example, we as Reply, we are excited about that because those are data and algorithms and information system that needs to be deployed to, get the data, elaborate the data, and find meaningful measurement, meaningful KPIs. Rodolfo was telling about that, to link the impact on investments to the impact on the sustainability of the economic system. So
a lot of work ahead can't make us more than happy, of course. So good. It's very good for us, for sure. I would like to.
Can I add a point on the answers? Because I think it was very interesting what Andrea and also Roberto raised, and also Giancarlo in the beginning, especially looking at the new generations. One of the things that attracted me to the financial industry in the first place 20 years ago is the fact that you need to make informed decisions, and there is not much option for mistake. Yeah, I mean, you can make mistakes, but not too many. And the same is happening now with sustainability, at least in the financial system. So we need to be able to make very well-informed decisions. So we're definitely moving into a way more professionalized, scientific, data-driven, and at the same time, deep analysis of these metrics. And that's really the big challenge going forward. And in my opinion, it's super exciting.
Thanks, Rodolfo. We actually can see your excitement when you talk about sustainability. So I would like to try to answer to another question from the audience, from Davide. Do you think the news on US inflation will weigh heavily on the markets in the coming days, or is it not a serious threat for markets? What do you think?
Inflation is a robber for wealth and a robber for the market. So inflation is really a killing issue. And if you listen, for example, of central banks, they are telling us there are no problem. We can control the inflation, so go ahead without problem. And it's key to see if the market will take the point and go on growing, or they can probably reflect on the fact that inflation could grow in the future. So we need to check really very carefully the inflation theme, because they can change the scope of the market. Inflation is really dangerous for all wealthy people, and is really dangerous for the market, for the interest rate, for the development of the economy, and above all, for the central bank, that then they have to change their monetary political stance, and so they can create some big change in the world. So look at the inflation. For sure, we are not ready up to now to see if it could be really a key point for the future, but in the short run, we have to see.
Thank you, Andrea, very much. If anybody wants to add something, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, I will ask one last question to Paolo, because our time is almost run up. So I'll go to Paolo then. Paolo, we have few more minutes before the last day of trading starts. Okay. Then for some time we will no longer have webinars. I will miss them, of course. This is the first thing. But I'm sure we will start working right away on the next year Reply Investment Challenge. But what would you say to the investors that are gonna play today for the very last time? Would you like to remind them something?
Yes, probably as we already, let's say, suggested last time that we met here, the mechanism of the whole challenge has been readapted for these 3 last days of the challenge. So from what we have seen so far, as of this morning, the investors, the players, deeply understood the rules. I would expect some changes in their behaviors today, given that, and I'm not suggesting anything specifically, but if they want to read between the lines, they already reached the maximum bonus that they could get from the detention points. So if you want to dare beat, probably this is the moment to do that. So you can, let's say, add a piece of spice to your portfolios and to your strategy today. Apart from that, I would remember only that, yes, in a couple of minutes, probably the markets will open, and this is the final day. You have to keep in mind the rules, as we said in the beginning, and just for the final decisions, remember that we will publish the leaderboard that will be temporary on Monday morning, and then we will follow up with the final leaderboard later down the week. So this is after receiving the strategy report, followed by the first classified participants.
Thank you, Paolo. So I think our time has officially ended. And of course, first of all, I would like to thank you all, guys, for being with us. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Rodolfo. Thank you, Giancarlo. Of course, thank you, Roberto and Paolo as well for being with us. It was a real pleasure. And I would say that we can just wish good luck to the players out there who are still trying to do their best to win those prizes. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned until Monday at least to check out the final ranking and enjoy the last bit of this race. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.